What up, guys? Mad Scientist 7890 here. Going to do an in the lab video for you. Got 3 topics coming off the negativeness of the current TNA pay-per-view. I figured I would go with something a little bit more lighthearted here for you guys. My first topic I really want to talk about here is the anniversary of Eddie Guerrero. Obviously, this weekend here, is something that everybody knows about and wants to talk about. It's Eddie Guerrero when his anniversary comes up, and I'm no different. I loved Eddie Guerrero when he was here and he was wrestling. He was doing everything he was doing. At the time when he was the champion and he had his run, 04 up to 05, all that stuff that he did. Just quite possibly one of the most charismatic and entertaining wrestlers in the business. That is absolutely 100% my feeling on him at that time. Loved watching him, loved the lion, cheat, and steal stuff. I'll just tell you guys some of my favorite moments, matches, of Eddie Guerrero personally. I absolutely loved when he won the title against Brock Lesnar, No Way Out for WrestleMania, and then going into WrestleMania 20, and with Benoit winning and coming out and celebrating, how big of a moment that was. Leading up to his last days, turning face again and doing that whole thing with Batista and how great that was. Had that feud with Mysterio in there in the middle, where it's Eddie Guerrero's one of those guys where when he's a heel, he does a great job. When he's a face, you just absolutely love him. His matches, with Mysterio and WCW are just epic. Classic matches. His match against Dean Malenko and ECW, a lot of people talk about. When he teamed with Chavo and Los Guerreros, great, so much fun, most entertaining tag teams at the time. So I just want to pay my respects, to Eddie Guerrero. Great, amazing wrestler. Will live on forever. We'll be watching your matches forever. As much as much heat as Vicky Guerrero gets, and the stuff that she does, she is, the self-made, woman. She, provided for her family now. She's a manager. She's, one of the most hated people in all of wrestling, and she gets over, and people just hate on her so much, and she gets so much heat, and I respect that so much, and I just love carrying that tradition on, and the Guerrero name. So that's my thoughts on Eddie Guerrero. Let me know if you guys have any thoughts, favorite moments, matches, anything like that. Let me know. Put them in the comments section. What you like, stuff that you maybe disliked, or anything like that. I've never heard a bad thing about Eddie Guerrero ever. Just an absolute, just icon, and the actual wrestling. So that was my first topic. My second topic I want to talk about was the recent matches and things going on, through the internet and certain things. Regal's been doing some stuff, and it brought up the question, in my mind, does Regal deserve, a last run? I know that a lot of people won't. I don't think they would give him, a world title or a WWE title, win or anything like that. I just don't think that'll happen. Maybe one last run, as the Intercontinental Champion. Something along those lines, having, doing what he wants to do. He was he went to FCW and he was the, commentator there for a while, and he liked Dean Ambrose, and they had a little rivalry that started, and they had a match, and seeing that match he did, and then also having the match he had against Daniel Bryan in Blackpool. The man can still go. He's still got, a couple of really good matches left in him. It's obvious to me from watching the matches, I've seen with him with Dean Ambrose and FCW, and the match he had with Danielson on Superstars, that I think William Regal really does deserve a one last run, at least Intercontinental, at least US or something like that. Some wrestlers aren't all about the big send-off match, having a match at WrestleMania or something like that. A lot of people thought maybe this, past WrestleMania, he'd have a match with Danielson on the pay-per-view and retire then. He didn't. So it's interesting to see what they're going to do with him, but I honestly do feel like, William Regal's a guy that does deserve that last run, that deserved run, you know, a lot of guys out there, you know, don't ever get that run. They kind of just fade into the darkness, you know, and never do anything again. But I think William Regal's one of those guys who deserves that last run. I think he has, you know, some good matches left in him. And definitely if he's in the ring with a guy like, you know, Brian Danielson, or you know, Daniel Bryan or whatever. If he's in the ring with him and, you know, other guys that can still go, you know, it would just be interesting to see. Even to have him and Danielson team or something along those lines, you know, just put something, you know, for Regal to do. Have him run a program with somebody, you know, and have one last big run. So, and that's how I feel about Regal with the matches that, you know, he's been having. I have some of them. I believe I have them all favorited. The promos that he cut a good promo on Moxley. Moxley cut a good promo on him. They had a little tiff, and then they had a match. The build-up was great. I thought it was a lot of fun. You know, so the Dean Ambrose and FCW saga continues, which may be another topic I talk about another time. But I really want to talk about Regal and see if he, you know, deserved that push, one last push. So, like I said, let me know what you guys think about that. Your opinions on William Regal. My last topic here is, which leads into it well, actually, is Daniel Bryan cashing in here. You know, there's a lot of talk that he's going to wait till WrestleMania. I mean, I don't know. I mean, that would be great. I would love to see, you know, him go to WrestleMania and cash in, you know, on Randy Orton or something along those lines. You know, they're really kind of giving, you know, for a while he wasn't doing anything. He really wasn't doing anything on SmackDown at all. It was kind of just a nuisance to even watch SmackDown because nobody was, you know, you had Mark Henry doing his thing, but for the most part there was really nothing I really wanted to see. You know, I almost wanted to just watch the FCW, you know, shows, the FCW roster, and, you know, to see the guys that they had on their show more than I wanted to watch SmackDown. But you know, Danielson getting a couple matches with Mark Henry, you know, talking about cashing in and talking about this and talking about that. You know, is it possible that they'll wait till Mania? You know, they haven't pulled the trigger on it yet. You know, they get, you know, antsy. I think WWE gets antsy when the you know, the Money in the Bank cash-ins. You know, that's why they can never wait until Money in the Bank, or not Money in the Bank, I'm sorry, WrestleMania to cash them in. You know, and with Money in the Bank being closer to WrestleMania instead of, you know, the Money in the Bank match happening at WrestleMania, you don't have to wait a year. But, you know, it's interesting to see what they could do with here, you know, with Daniel Bryan. I would love to see, you know, a cash in. I mean, honestly, you know, the big match feel of it, Danielson winning at WrestleMania, I just don't know if they would really let that happen. But, you know, having him cash in, you know, and do it to the degree of, you know, like a CM Punk or an Edge or something, it just doesn't seem like something Danielson would want to do. You know, he would want to win it, you know, like not a cheap win. You know, cash in at, you know, WrestleMania, face Randy Orton. The way it's looking, you know, he may face Mark Henry in the future somehow down the line. You know, but Daniel Bryan is a guy who is all about work. You know, he's a work rate guy. He's not a, you know, not a real big talker. You know, he's got, you know, his loyal fans. I'm one of them. You know, there's a lot of them out there. You know, I love his whole thing he's doing where he's, you know, not gonna shave, you know, his beard until WrestleMania, which I think is really cool to see how that would roll. So I mean, you know, like I said, your thoughts on Daniel Bryan cashing in? You know, it could happen at Survivor Series. It could happen, you know, in the midst of all the big things going on. Nobody even sees it coming. You know, and it seems a bit predictable, but who knows? But I think they've never had a cash in at WrestleMania, and I think that would be where I'd like to see it. So, like I said, leave some comments. Let me know what you guys think about these topics. You got your own opinions on what's going on here. So, yeah. So, like I said, in the lab video here, Mad Scientist. Peace, guys.